Last night I saw the movie Kanye to Ye in Whose Name. It's a documentary, but it's an unusually done documentary in that there's very little there's really no commentary at all. It's just a selection of scenes from Kanye Ye's life. Now, every documentary, I used to think documentaries just showed you the truth of things. Of course, that's not the case. We should know that by now, because they're selective about what they show. You over the course of however many years that this guy followed Ye around, and caught him flying on his airplane to different places around the world and talking to administrators or architects or flying to Chicago to talk to the people from the city where he was born, visiting his home, his childhood home, where his mother had raised him, and or his infamous appearance on SNL in 2018, and things that happened behind the scenes. Obviously, there were certain scenes that were selected by this director. So even though there was no commentary, it's obviously, he could have chosen a lot of different things, and he chose what he chose. Now, the director, I don't think, is somebody who just has I don't think this is just a hit piece. Because we do see Ye in some positive moments. We see him filming the Jesus is Lord album, and how he was able to we see something of his genius, in the midst of his madness, because I don't think we can deny, and I like the guy, I love the guy, but I don't think we can deny that he's stark raving mad. How did he get to be that way? That's a good question. Is it just a chemical thing, or did he suffer things? Did he go through things that made him this way? I don't know. But the general idea was, this is a down. We're capturing this man's downward spiral, mental health wise, and so there's a lot of scenes where we see him behaving in ways that are obviously where he betrays mental instability. We see him sort of talking, and he you know he he's in these meetings with business lead, with like high mucky mucks, because this guy's big time. He's signed all these deals. He's in business. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of clout. So these high mucky mucks who are working with him, they have to listen to him. They have to try to do. They have to do their best to try to figure out what he wants from them, and give it to him. Or sometimes they try to argue with him that maybe what he really wants is something a little different than, or what he really should have is something a little different than what he's asking for. But most of the time, it seems like they're just trying to figure out what he's asking for. And he's definitely erratic. He definitely, he has moments where he loses his temper, and starts yelling. Never violent, but there are, I mean, you never feel like anyone's in physical danger around him, but there are moments where he becomes extremely volatile. Where he gets where something just sets him off, and in front. These are all big meetings. These are in front of a lot of people. We see him with his then wife, now his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, and we see some scenes between him and his kids. So it, I think if I had to guess that what the filmmaker's agenda was, it was to show us to say that this guy was having a downward spiral, and to capture that the pathos and the drama and all of the accompanying emotions that we see over the course of this downward spiral that he's having because of clear mental health issues. But and I think that the guy's probably got he's probably a liberal. He's probably got an agenda where he met with Trump. What a dastardly thing to do. He wore the Make America Great Again hat. What a I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing here. He wore a T-shirt saying "White Lives Matter." Oh, yeah, and then this is all before the DEFCON 3 incident, where I think it was in late 2022 when that happened. His infamous tweet about going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. But we see a little bit of that moment as well, and what follows, and his attempt to disassociate from all of these companies whom he feels a slave to. He talks about slavery a lot, but not in the way that you normally hear black activists talk about slavery. He's not talking about 19th century slavery. He's talking about he's got an independent mind. I'll say it that way. He's got his own way of looking at things, and there's yeah. So what do I have to say about the movie itself? I think that I don't know if the way I reacted to a lot of it is the way that I was supposed to have reacted to a lot of it. There are scenes that where I'm definitely feeling the tension, where I'm just where it's like I'm in this room with this guy, and I don't know what he's going to say next, and I don't know what's going to set him off, and I want to, and he's expressing these ideas that are sometimes very interesting, but sometimes it's not quite clear what he's talking about, and then he'll go from one thing to another, with no clear discernible, the transition. How he made this transition in his mind isn't totally clear, and yet there's also this self-consciousness, this awareness of himself as being crazy. As he says it, he even talks about being crazy, and being bipolar, and but there is an undeniable, I think, spirit of defiance that you see in a lot of what he does, that I can't help but admire, and it's it's hard to know exactly what to say about it, because I don't want to misrepresent him. I don't want to claim that the people who think that he's just a crazy guy, that he's lost his marbles and all of that. I don't want to say that that there's no reason, or that this is just all part of some agenda against him ever since he started saying things that they didn't like for him to be saying. He's definitely somebody who, as I said, is often seems to be mentally struggling. Now, again, we see this is what the director has chosen to show us. These are the scenes that he's putting on the screen, and he was around filming for years. I don't know what his relationship is to Ye. Ye must trust him to some extent. Otherwise, why would he allow him to? Why would he allow himself to be filmed in this way? To have such intimate, to have access to such intimate moments, like arguments with his family and his wife and other things, other moments like that. But I would say also what the film also captures is how he sees things that are there, that are actually there. The things that he talks about are not even the post DEFCON 3 stuff. The things that he talks about, it's not like he's just making this up. It's not like he's just deluded and living in a fantasy world. This is real. It's stuff we're not supposed to talk about, that he is talking about, because I don't know what led him to that point where he just if he was off his meds and that gave him the freedom to start talking about the things that he was noticing. But in any case, he did it. There's one moment where somebody tries to, like, he's listening to a part where some other rapper's doing a guest spot on one of his songs that he's going to be using in a concert. And he starts talking about I can't breathe stuff, references to George Floyd. And he says, cut that shit off. We're not doing any of that. We're not doing any of that Black Lives Matter shit. I'd rather hear somebody talking about killing a bunch of motherfuckers and fucking a bunch of bitches than that. So, and again, it's the White Lives Matter display was intended to shock, but why is that? But we should also. But then that raises the question: why should that be shocking? We should be shocked by the idea that white lives matter. What? Talk about being brainwashed. We shouldn't say that white lives matter. You're telling me that? You're really telling me that? Just like the old saying was, only Nixon could go to China. Only Kanye could promote White Lives Matter. So, and then he's on the phone with someone and say things. Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. I realized white lives don't matter. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to have a race change. I'm going to become white. I decided I am white. He's obviously got the spirit of, defiance and knowing the absurdities that we're supposed to be believing, that you can change your gender, that, and that we're not supposed to talking about white lives mattering, and he goes out and says what he says about that stuff. So it's a complicated thing. I mean, I think that I refuse to read any of the reviews because I know the reviewers are all, shit lib extraordinaires, and they're all going to be saying the same things. Oh, it's so tragic to see him spiral into anti-Semitism and racism and blah blah. It's all the same gobbledygook. I'm tired of it. I don't need to read it anymore. It's predictable, but I wanted to just put in my 2 cents. I think it's worth seeing. The only I was able to watch it on Fandango. They have a Fandango is where I go to see movie times, but they also have movies that you can watch through their app, and this was the first movie I watched through them. So yeah, Kanye to Ye. In whose name? If you've seen it, tell me what you think.